Hello, today I'm going to talk and I'm going to have a conversation with the world about the quote, while some cry, others sell tissues. I think that every time there's so many opportunities in the world and people just don't realize about those opportunities, which basically there's always an opportunity for you to actually create something great for you and for the world and for humanity. And there's gonna always be a tragedy and there's always gonna be good things in life. And I think human beings, we tend to actually only see the tragedy, and we don't see the amount of opportunities that are amazing and are just right in front of us, right? So I think this quote is pretty much about it. It's about saying that when there's a disaster, like for example, let's talk about this coronavirus, the pandemic. A lot of people are crying, a lot of people are actually without job and without any perspectives about the future. People lost their jobs, people don't have any money, many of them, and I understand it's a very serious situation, and me myself I'm also suffering from it like anybody else. And this is also a big opportunity. This crisis is an opportunity to reflect about our values, about our lives, and is a opportunity for us to realize what we can do to be able to create something unique for the world at this moment that the world doesn't have and that the world needs. So I think a lot of priorities are reshuffling because of this crisis, and I do believe that it's just a matter of perspective. Like while some people are just complaining and crying, and I do understand, because it's the most easiest thing for you to do is to complain about life and complain about the world and about how evil the world is, which is in fact. But there are so many opportunities lying ahead for those who embrace reality, I think, in any point of life. So it doesn't matter how bad your situation might be or how bad the world is, which is in a pretty chaotic condition, let's say. There's always the people who will complain. There's always going to be the people who are going to come with solutions to problems that the world will always face, because the world will always have problems, because people will always invent problems, right? That's the human nature. We just create problems sometimes when they don't even need to exist. We just go there and create problems. It's like, I believe many of these big companies, what they are doing now is they are, through marketing, advertising, through media in general, they just shape society in a way that create a lot of mental problems for ourselves and for people. And those problems, they didn't exist in the first place. Like, remember when you were a child, Did you face any of these issues that you're facing now as an adult? Issues of ego, of competition, of trying to prove something to someone else. Did you face these issues when you were a child? I don't think so, right? At least me, I didn't. And then when we grow up, society just fucks us in the ass, and we just start to believe that we need certain things that we don't, right? So in that sense, I believe there's always going to be problems to solve. It's inherited in our human nature, I believe. And there's always going to be people who complain. There's always going to be people who are going to do something to solve these problems. You see, I have a problem in my mind. I have mental issues. I have issues of ruminating, negativity, low self-esteem and all these things. And that's why I'm just having these conversations now with the world, because I always had these issues and nobody came to give me proper guidance and give me proper help. And then now I'm just doing this. I'm just talking to the world, like as honest as I could be, trying to be myself without any fear of rejection or repression. And I'm kind of trying to solve my own problem, and maybe by solving my own problems, maybe I can help others, right? So that's why I made this poster with this quote here, because I was in this situation before in my life where I was crying, and I still do. I still do complain a lot. I still do a lot of stupid complaints, and my mind constantly comes with stupid negativity all the time, judgment, criticism, just basically unsatisfied with how things are in the world and how things are with my life. And I spent so many years actually just in this negativity loop, which I now refuse to be. And even though my mind still every day is very negative, I am a very negative person by my nature. That's how I am. I'm just trying to do something to fix my problems, and I'm selling tissues for myself, I would say, by making these posters, and these posters are helping me to reflect a lot about life and a lot about how actually we can have a better life with ourselves, and it doesn't depend on anyone else. It just depends on us to have a great life, to have the life that we want for ourselves. I think maybe most of all, we should be the ones that sell and that provide us our own tissues, to whenever we're crying, whenever we're suffering from the injustices of the world. We are the ones who actually should stop first, think about it, and do something about it for ourselves. Because nobody else is gonna go and is gonna help us, And people are gonna, even sometimes, maybe if they wanna help, they're not gonna be able, because our problems are very unique to ourselves, to our own identities, even though we all face similar problems. I'm not sure I really do believe 100% in therapy, because we are very unique individuals, and through our lives we grew up in completely different environments, and we accumulated certain traumas that are very unique to us. So in that sense, I'm not sure I believe that someone could come and fix our problems for us. They could certainly help. Of course, therapy, it's something that is recognized worldwide as something that really does help people, but I believe therapy by itself is not enough. I believe you have to do things by your own, and that's why I'm doing this, to be honest. I don't want to be famous. I don't give a shit about that. I'm just doing this for myself, you know. I'm having conversations to the world, and I hope that some of these conversations, maybe they help other people. I believe if you're watching this, at some point you are connecting with me and with what I'm trying to say. So, while some cry, others sell tissues. Are you the kind of person that complains a lot and cries a lot about your problems? Or are you the person that actually recognizes that everybody in the world have problems, and maybe people have much bigger problems than you're having now, and maybe that you're in a very lucky position, right? And even though it's very easy for me to go now and say, yes, you shouldn't complain about your problems because look, there are people like in Africa dying of starvation, you should be optimistic, but none of these things really work, because your mind will create problems automatically. Your mind, even when everything's perfect, your mind will come with problems. We are creative people. Human beings are very creative, and we create our own problems, as I was saying. So, what about living a life where you acknowledge that? And what about living a life where you live your life to solve your own problems and to solve other people's problems? I think that would be a very interesting life to live, right? Because imagine, the entire world has problems. People have different sorts of problems, and you also have your own problems. Everybody have problems. Nobody's perfect. Let's just be honest with yourselves, right? And let's just recognize that. I'm very far away from perfect, and I don't believe in perfection, right? You can't be perfect, and you will fail at some point. You will fail, and then you have to go back and get over with it. Alright, so everybody have problems. You have problems. Me, I have problems. So what about devoting some part of your life or the entirety of your life to solve your problems that will actually solve other people's problems? I mean, wouldn't that be a great, interesting way to live? Instead of spending your life watching me talking to you or watching other stupid TV shows, why don't you just try to devote a little bit of your life to understand your problems in life and see how you can solve your problems and then eventually solve other people's problems. See, my biggest problem is that I can't cope with reality. I have a big problem with embracing reality and understanding reality. Things just happen, they just fall over my head, and I have these big problems with accepting this, accepting that in the end we can control anything in life. So that's my biggest problem, I think, now, I would say. So what am I doing to solve this problem? I'm here talking about my problems to you and to the world, and I'm doing this project here, which is kind of helping me to reflect about life and reflect about the simplicity of things, that we actually go and complicate things when we shouldn't. When actually I think life could be much more simpler than we make it for ourselves, right? All right. So yeah, that's just an idea that I give to you. Think about it. Think that, see, there's always going to be people solving other people's problems, and these people, they probably will get a much more fulfilling life than those who don't, those who are actually not helping others, and those who are just doing nothing for themselves and for others. Of course, I might be wrong. I understand a lot of people solve other people's problems but still feel miserable about it. So I'm not sure this is something that actually is a rule, which some people, sometimes you see these gurus, internet fake gurus talking about that, saying that the key to happiness is to help the world and all these things. It might be true, it might be not, I don't know. But just think about it for a while. Think about how interesting it would be to live a life where you're actually helping people and solving problems. Whatever problems people have. It can be a very basic problem, or it can be a very big problem that actually saves people's lives. Imagine. But even if it's the most little thing, imagine like if you actually get the feeling that something that you did actually helped someone to get better at something. Imagine that. Just one thing that you did. Imagine if it's just for one person. If you help one person, imagine what interesting life, or imagine the positivity that this will actually bring to your life. That you're doing something that helped someone else, and that person is genuinely grateful for your help and your contributions. I think that would be a very interesting feeling to have. And I'm not talking about ego, you know. Also, you gotta be careful about not getting stuck with your ego on that, right? Because you might just do things for people, expecting to help people and change the world, but you're doing this for the wrong reasons, right? Because you're doing this because you want fame, or you want just to have the gratitude back on people, and then if you don't get the gratitude of people, then you wouldn't feel very good. So yeah, I think you gotta also be very careful about that, because you want to help people without expecting anything in return, right? Well, think about it, because honestly, what else are you gonna do with your life? Are you gonna stay in a stupid job that you hate for the wrong reasons, for the wrong cause? Just for what? Just to get some money, to buy shit that you don't need, to hang out with people that you don't, that some years later they're gonna not be part of your life. So what's the big point? Well, think about it. That's something you could consider. Spending some time helping your community, or helping the world, and helping yourself. Doing something that helps yourself and then consequently help others. Maybe I think that this quote here, maybe that's something about it, right? So I'm gonna go now because I don't know if this is actually filming or not. It's just a test, but I hope it is. And if it is, I'm gonna put on YouTube, and then hope you enjoyed this one. While some cry, others sell tissues. And if you want this poster, just send me a comment, and if you're nice with me, I'm gonna send it to you, okay? All right, thanks, bye.